Music tailored for the guest. Don Redman, spokesperson for AAA. Good morning, Don. How are you, sir? It's good to have you.
Good morning. Great song selection, too. Yes.
Oh, absolutely, positively. It's going. I was reading some stuff here. We always talk about this, that it's going to be a record number of people on the road again. We always say that, and most times it's true. Traveling, too, at airports. So we'll see what happens, but what's the outlook?
Well, we look like a 9% increase of people travel for the holiday over last year, which would be some record-setting numbers. All modes of transportation. We don't calculate the same travel for this holiday that we do, say, for the 4th of July or Thanksgiving, but we're looking at overall bookings. And, yeah, it's up because traditionally, Labor Day has changed over the years because in the Gulf South, Mississippi included, we start school a lot earlier than we used to. There's still parts of the country that don't start school until after Labor Day. So that used to be the real big hurrah. But here lately, these past 4 or 5 years, we've really seen people taking to Labor Day as they had traditionally before the changes in the calendar.
Don, when did the AAA start? When did they come into being?
We came into being in 1902. I want to say one of our first clubs was in Natchez, and I want to say it was 1904, 1906. Yeah. So it started out as just a car enthusiast. It was very rare. There's more horses than there were cars, and very few paved roads. And it started up in Chicago, but then it started spreading because people needed roadside assistance. They found that out real quick, and just also to help advocate for laws, because it used to be, for example, if you came into a town, some cities required, or towns required, that you came in and you honked your horn before you brought your car in, so it wouldn't scare the horses and all that, just kind of announce your arrival and all kind of crazy different laws against motor. So that was another foundational part of our organization, was just to unify some codes like stop signs, traffic lights, all those kind of things.
Back when the glove compartment had a different meaning, because you actually had to have gloves in there.
You actually had to have gloves.
A lot of people don't understand this, but those gloves were needed, especially in the early days when you had to go outside and crank the thing with a crank in front.
Yeah, and I've heard many horror stories of arms being broken cranking that car.
So it was
from the kickback. Yeah.
A lot of things have changed. I know this is probably not what you expected, but people don't think about AAA in that manner. When you hear people say, I'm going to call AAA, do we have a big following in Mississippi as far as members of AAA?
Yeah, we actually do. In certain locations, we used to have a really strong presence in the Mississippi Gulf Coast. We're hoping to build that up. But as far as the Jackson area, we have a really strong membership. Flowood, those areas, we're seeing a strong membership push in Mississippi. So yeah, it's harder when you get some of those outside areas to get a contractor, but we're really working to service our members throughout the state.
Well, nationwide, though, what are the advantages? Because if you travel a lot in your vehicle, and you do need some roadside assistance, give me what are we talking about as far as a monthly cost?
For your basic membership, let's say if you go for a premium, which I always encourage, it gives you a little more mileage when you're being towed. You're talking about $109 for a year membership, and that includes just one tow would cover that, but also you talk about discounts you get as membership from hotels and various other things, and then you have the opportunity of then working with a travel agent for those bigger trips that you have. Our membership, absolutely, we've seen it in Fortune magazine and other magazines talking about the value of AAA membership. It surpasses any other membership that you could have.
So if we have some people who are going to be traveling across country on this Labor Day, it's not too late to join?
Oh, no. In fact, you can join if you're broke down. You can say, like, okay, I'm going to become a member right now. So, and you can. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll sign you up right there. Yeah. Because that's actually a big request.
Yeah. I got to ask you this also. When you look at when you started in 1902, of course, now with all of the everything all the way up to AI, are those projections about what it's going to look like in the upcoming week more accurate now than ever before? I would imagine.
Yeah, I believe so. I think you're absolutely right. We have more tools at our disposal, and you're able to reach out to more people than just those who have a landline. You know, that used to be a hang up for a lot of things. Like you're only calling people who have a landline. So yeah, there's more tools now that we can reach out to other surveying techniques to get those better numbers.
So you're saying that heavy travel gas prices are about what they were last year, or are they up or down?
No, they're down. They're almost 40 cents a gallon cheaper than we were this time last year. I think statewide we're under $2.90 statewide, cheapest in the country. As we typically are, but yeah, it's a good savings right now for those, and it really helps that family budget. I still think, you know, when we talk about maybe only 10 cents away from $3 a gallon, that's still expensive. But I think psychologically, you having prices under $3, I think it really is a boost in the morale of the consumer.
336 is the national average. 289 is the state average across the state. We have some pockets where it's a little bit higher. Claiborne County is $3 and about 28 cents, but for the most part, $2.89, which is, like you said, when you've gone to the pump and you've taken anything over $3, this is more than anything psychologically a little bit of a breather, but it's still a hell of a long way from $1.50 or even $2. So.
Yeah.
I don't think, certainly it is going to depend on what happens in November. We'll never see that go back down. Maybe in our lifetime, if the election doesn't turn out the way conservative wants coming up in November. Final thoughts here, sir.
Well, I always just add this caveat. I hate to be the dark cloud behind the silver lining, but we are still in hurricane season, and we do have rockets flying in the Middle East, and so you know our fortunes can change very quickly. I would still budget for a family budget. I'd budget for $3.15 a gallon. It may not reach that. It may not. You know, we prices may stay level, but certainly brace for that. As well as if you're hitting the road this weekend, make sure you check your tires and check the age of your battery. By this summer, your battery's probably given out, but look at your battery. It'll have a sticker. If it's at least 3 years old, you want to have what's called a load test. Usually even a parts store will test your battery, see if it's good or not, because those are the two primary calls that AAA gets called out for: flat tires and dead batteries.
I will say this, and I won't mention who they are, but I've had bad experiences in the last 10 or 15 years with places that change your oil. They say checking your battery, and they'll check this and that, the water. They don't do it. They change the oil. They get you out as fast as possible. So if you're depending on them to check everything from the windshield wiper to the air in your tires to your battery, if you have water-filled batteries. Don't depend on them. Make sure you check them yourself. Especially
that's a great point. Yeah, great point, because that is so true. But they'll check it that they checked it, but they didn't check it.
Yes. Yeah, they check it that they check it, but they don't check it.
Check it.
That ought to be a bumper sticker. They check it. Let's see if we can remember that. Don, thank you, man. Always a pleasure. Appreciate it very much.
Yeah, thank you.